And hello, and welcome back again for another week of the Soul Citizens. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and I'm welcoming you all back with my illustrious cast, hosts, co-hosts of good people who love Star Citizen and love each other, and we love you guys because you guys have been supporting us fist to face. Thank you for that compliment. Yes, we decided to change it up a little bit. Actually, my license on the old song was wearing out this week, so I had to get a new one. So I ended up spending, I can't tell you how many tracks I listened to over the last week and a half. I think I probably listened to over 600 tracks and finally found something that I liked. So I'm glad you guys liked it. And it's good to have you back here. Trevin, thank you for coming. Yes, we're good to see you. And Gaber Babers, hey, what's going on? Really appreciate you guys being here today with us. We've got a really special and different show this week, but before we get into that, I want to introduce all of our illustrious hosts. Let's start out at the bottom today, right on the right side, I should say. Let's start with Kimmy65. Kimmy, what's up, brother?
07, everyone on the panel. Soul Citizens, welcome. Chat, welcome. Glad to be here.
All right.
Let's do it.
Awesome. You guys let us know. I'm still doing a little bit of tweaking on audio, and I hope I got it right from last week. So if I'm too loud or if they're too soft, please let us know and we'll make adjustments. And if we're okay, then just say we're okay. Turn Kimmy up. Yeah, Kimmy's the soft-spoken guy among us, so I have to jack him up a little bit here. Let's see.
The rest of us are loud.
Yeah, the rest of us are much louder than Kimmy. Kimmy's Mr. Smooth voice over there, so all right. All right.
How dare you?
There we go.
I know, right?
There we go. Your voice. We're gonna. All right.
Exactly. Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They said we're all soft. Okay, so let's see what's going on with that. Why is everybody soft? All right. Can you guys say something to them and let them know?
You muted, Griffin. I see you talking.
All right, I made an adjustment there. How are they sounding, guys? Are they still soft? You can raise the volume on everybody. Wow, okay, on everybody. All right, I'm gonna do it. All right. How's that? Is that better?
I don't know. That sounds fine to me.
Wow, okay. Okay. Everybody. All right. I'm gonna trust it. I kicked it up a little bit, so hopefully that's better, guys. And we are quiet. Wow, it's better. Okay, great. All right, Gabers. All right. A bit more. Okay, we'll go a little bit more.
I think some of you guys need to adjust your Twitch volume. Your Twitch volume might be down too low because
what is your volume?
My stream, everything sounds perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah, a bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody's giving thumbs up, so we're okay.
Am I louder now?
No, you're good. It's not on your end. It's adjustment's got to be on my end. Don't change anything on your end. Twitch volume is maxed. Wow. Okay. All right, I'm peaking on my end, so I don't know what it is, but hopefully it'll get a little bit better here. Everyone to 11. Thanks, Travin. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into some stuff here. As you guys saw, our topic this week is PC builds for Star Citizen, and this is of course a departure for us. Normally we're talking about the game, but we're going into 2021. It's a new year, and there's been a lot happening on the tech end in regard to computers. New stuff that's been coming out since the summer of last year, and a lot of people are in this idea of thinking about mad style.
Mad style already.
Mad style. Jeez, oh Pete. Okay. All right, mad style. Thank you so much for the 500 bits as always.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so as I was saying, there's a lot of people who are giving consideration to either doing upgrades to their computers or maybe even buying a new computer. A lot of people have been holding off because they've been trying to keep an eye on the progress of Star Citizen. And not that you're going to build a computer just for Star Citizen, because if you're a gamer, you're going to build a computer for a lot of other units. But we want to talk about Star Citizen though, because it is probably one of the games that you may own that really, really pulls on a rig. Those of you who are playing Cyberpunk, you guys know that pulls on a rig, and we know Star Citizen does, particularly because it is not an optimized game yet, and so it's going to draw on your system a little bit more than if it were optimized. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Let me start out first of all. Let's go to fastcart. I think fastcart, the old man in the room, he's second to me as far as old man, but I think he's first in having the oldest rig in the game.
Oh yeah.
Wow. proud.
I built my computer in 2011.
Yeah.
And I've been, ever since 2016, I've been saying, okay, this year I'm going to build a new computer. This year I'm going to build a new computer. And I've been going to CitizenCon, so I didn't build a new computer in 2016. Had to get a new cart in 2018, so I didn't build a new computer. And last year, I forgot what my excuse was, but last year I started building a new computer because there was no CitizenCon. So yeah, I have a PC part picker of my current build that's from 2011. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that Gigi and I didn't get an introduction. I'm fastcart, also known as FC.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me do that. I apologize profusely.
Can we
my
pass
God.
that? But I would like to say, Shipwreck, thank you for the subscribe for the 3 months now. Yay!
07 Shipwreck.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Gigi, I don't know if you got speakers on, but can you turn them down just a tweak if you do, because they're looping through. Thanks. Shipwreck, thank you. Yes, 3 months. Boy, you guys are kicking us off really good this week, and I'm so sorry. I don't know how I must be so. I'm tired.
It's fine. I
know I'm tired. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna. That was the introduction to Fastcart. Let's go to Gigi. Yes, tell everybody who you are, please. We're just doing introductions. I'm sorry. Did you?
I feel like they know who I am, girl.
They know who you are? Okay. Well, there may be somebody out there who doesn't know. Just say hi then. Just say hi.
Hello, everybody. I am the Green-Eyed Gal. If you don't know me, I am the resident loud person. I am probably going to yell at some point, and I love Pico.
Oh,
She does. She truly loves Pico.
her and that Pico. She's been waiting on that thing. All right. Well, let's go back. I'm going to double back to Fastcart now. So Fastcart, you can finish talking about your system, where you're at right now.
Yeah, so that's currently what I have. I have a 2600K 970. I started with the 670 in 2011. I upgraded my hard drive. I had a all mechanical, but now I have a SSD, and I upgraded one of my hard drive to a 5 terabyte storage, and that was back in 2016 when I got that one. And you can see all the prices look expensive on that part picker because this is 2011 prices, not 2020 prices, so that's why the prices look so high.
Now, Fastcart, for your rig, as far as performance with Star Citizen, when did you start noticing? Because I know you've been talking about this upgrade now. When did you start noticing that you were starting to lose? It wasn't performing as well as when you first built the rig and got into the game. Do you remember what year it was?
2014 when I first started, when I first backed Star Citizen.
Okay.
I backed Star Citizen in 2014, and it was already. I had a 670 back then.
Okay.
So that was part of the reason why. Then I got a 970 and improved performance, but there were other bottlenecks in there, here and there, that still held it back.
Okay.
And I was getting I've gotten 45 frames per second in some places, but most of the time it's just 20 frames per second.
Okay. And you did the upgrade for your graphics card. Then you also went from hard drive to SSD at some point too. And obviously you saw a difference in load times probably when you went to that, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I also got a new headset. This headset I use for broadcasting. I have an Astro that Crucian Gaming gave me that I use for playtime and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm glad that Fastcart mentioned that, because next week, guys, we're going to be talking about all the cool things you need to buy to go along with your computer rig. So things like headsets, microphone, all that good stuff. We're going to be talking about that next week. And we've also got another surprise, so you guys hang around today because we're doing a giveaway. Kimmy has sponsored a really special giveaway today for you guys. And I didn't advertise it per se because I didn't want to draw in a bunch of people that don't come to the show because they see what he's giving away. If it was a ship, I would do it. But what he's giving away is something I think that we want to give away to you guys because you guys are the ones that support us. So just kind of stand by and we'll let you know what that is. I was going to say, what was the word? Stand back and stand by, but I didn't want to get nobody fired up with that. Okay, so stand by. Stand by.
No.
Because
okay.
Moving on.
I'm not even going to yell that way today.
I'm not even going to comment.
All right. So Travin, I'm assuming Travin that you're showing us that's what you've got. You've got a Ryzen 2700X 64 gig. Wow, nice. GTX 1070 Ti, nice. 8 gig, 60 meg, 2 M2s, M2, 256 gig M2, nice, great. And Travin, how's that system working for you? Are you feeling pretty good about it? Just type in yes or no, or are you looking to do more stuff? Let us know. That's a pretty cool rig right there for Star Citizen.
It is.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Now, fastcart, you are in the process of getting ready to upgrade, right? And what have you bought? What have you bought so far?
So, I'm going to post another link from PC Part Picker. This is titled Future Ryzen 9 build, but you know, it's mostly I have everything except for the CPU because that's been on back order or whatever since November. When Black Friday hit in November, I bought almost half the systems that I was still missing except for the CPU. So you can see that the Ryzen 9 5900X, that's what I'm interested in. The RAM, I have the Super 2080 Super. I got that back in May, so that was way before the 30 series was announced. And yeah, you can see everything else that I've got in there. I even bought some extra fans and stuff for that.
Nice.
The case, I require a case that I can pick up to have straps on the case. I was going to get another case that had a handle on it, but it went out of stock back in May. I waited and waited and waited for it to come back in stock. Then Black Friday hit, and the case that I had, the Asus case, went on sale, so I went ahead and got that. Then a week later, the case that I really wanted came back.
Okay, wow. Plague Dealer, thank you for that follow. Thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah, you know, one of the things that I saw, because both fastcart and I started buying parts last year in 2020. My original plan was to start buying all of the smaller things that really were inconsequential, SSDs, power supplies, things like that, with the intent, because Kimmy and I'm connecting with everybody here. Kimmy and I had been talking about that we knew that the new AMD graphics cards and stuff was going to be coming out, all the NVIDIAs. And so we knew that was going to happen when we got near the fall. But unfortunately, because of what we do on the show, and plus my work that I do kind of shifted, I needed something that was going to allow me to immediately get into multitasking. And so I had to kind of jump the gun and go ahead and do my rig all at one time. I don't regret it because I needed to do it for work. I wish I could have waited an additional 3 months, but that would have been 3 months of work.
Just a little bit, though.
Well, a little bit, but only because of future-proofing reasons. Everything that I have in my there's only one item in my computer that I would have changed, and it would have been the graphics card. Everything else that's in there, I'm content with. And so, in graphics cards, you can change those, you know, so that can just happen in the future if necessary. But upgrading your computer is a major investment. But I think that anytime anybody has done it, once you've done it, you're happy with it. It's always a tough thing to do, but when you do it, you often say, I wish I did this a long time ago, you know? So let's jump to Gigi. Gigi, you got your computer, I think you said, was it a couple years ago when you got yours?
I actually got my rig not last year, but the year before. And here's one even better for you. It was gifted to me.
Very nice.
Right? A very, very good friend, someone I love and care for very much, paid for it for me as a birthday gift, which was probably one of the most outstanding birthday gifts I've ever gotten. And then, I started Star Citizen the next month.
Okay. Now you had sent me, and I'm trying to find it because you sent me what your computer was, and I'm trying. Do you know exactly what it is again? Because I don't know what I did with that thing you sent me. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. You got a CyberPower.
Yes.
And it's a Ryzen 5.
Ryzen 5 2400G.
Oh, you got it all.
And
okay.
Then there's a Radeon Vega graphics with 3.6 gigahertz.
Okay, 3.6 gig.
Yeah, but it's integrated, so yikes.
Okay. And that was the one issue. I mean, as far as that, your computer performs pretty well for you with everything, but you definitely see a performance shift when you go into Star Citizen.
A performance shift isn't really even the term for it. I cannot play Star Citizen and have a good time. And it is no fault of the game or the devs. It's just my rig is not up to it. The graphics that I would need, it's not possible for me right now. So it's too much skipping, too much jumping. I'm always falling through stuff. I'm always bugging out of stuff. So I have to wait until I can update my graphics card.
Forgive me for interrupting, but I have the graphics of GG's build. You want me to post it in Twitch chat?
Yeah, cool. Now with GG, okay, and so GG, your graphics card is an integrated card. You don't have the standalone card like the rest of us. You've got the one that came with the computer with the motherboard. So
exactly.
Okay, all right, okay. Let me real quick go through most. I see your rig here. Most has got a Ryzen 5950X. Woo, nice smoking.
Very nice.
64 gig,
Yes.
8 terabyte M2. NVIDIA 3090 and of X570. That's the only thing I can commit to that I've got that you've got. is the motherboard.
Nice.
Everything else you're with.
I got the X572
Well,
also.
I take that back. I've got the 64 gig. I do have that. But wow, 8 terabytes of M2. Wow, that is very, very cool.
Very nice.
And of course the 3090, which puts you in there with Kimmy, because y'all outside of that bracket for us. You know, we can't reach that pillar yet. But that's an awesome rig. And a 5950, Jesus Christ. That's a great rig. That is really a cool rig.
My question is, how did you manage to get a 5950 before they all sold out? Like, were you like waiting in line in Best Buy or something like that for Black Friday? Or
let's talk about that a little bit, because this
Quick on the
year,
F5.
Kimmy can talk about this. This year was a tough year because of COVID, and because so many people went into technology with everything from teleconferencing and everything. That technology stuff was just flying out the windows. Kimmy, how long did you ended up, because you put in for your card, but you ended up getting your card, but how long did you have to wait for your 3090 roughly?
Well, it was kind of a two-pronged thing where I initially was going through notifications by EVGA, and it was a heartbreaking thing because I missed that notification, and so so I went. They basically said, "Hey, it's ready for you. Log in, and you got 5 hours."
Ooh.
And I looked at the email the day after.
Ooh.
So yeah, ouch, ooch.
That's painful. 5 hours. They should have given you 24.
Painful.
Oh my God. Ugh, that's crazy. All right.
But yeah, this wasn't too long. I would say within a month or two.
But it was also because you had put in for yours ahead of time, though. That was the other thing, right? Because you told me right off the bat you wanted yours.
One day,
yeah,
just one?
5 hours. Shoot.
Right? Like you don't even get 24. Just that's nothing.
Yeah,
hey, they were buying off the shelves, you know. You got to be on the
back into the pool. This was online, of course. So it goes back into the pool.
Yeah.
And more to Griffin's point, like when COVID first hit, it was hard to find a webcam. Like you would get going online for Amazon, they wanted $500 for a normal webcam. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's very true.
But to what fastcart said, you know, that's one aspect. It was the COVID, but then you also had the fact that these video cards, when they were actually brought to the market, they underproduce. They didn't have enough volume, and so with that, it was kind of like people would call it was a paper sale.
Right.
I mean, the moment it hit the door, it was gone.
They were gone.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Techmer, we see you. Says you're going to get an i5. Very cool. GTX 1660 Super. Okay, 16 gig of RAM that you will upgrade. That's very cool. And I was going to say that's the one thing you probably want to give consideration to. A lot of us, I remember a few years back, and I guess I'll go next. My computer, I just upgraded this last year, but I was running on a AMD 8370, I think it was. So my processor was like maybe back in 2013, 2014, but I was on a 1070 card. I had 16 gig of RAM. It ran pretty well for me up until about 2016, 2017. And then I started noticing performance issues. I went from 16 to 32, and I will tell you there was a significant jump in my performance going to 32 gigs of RAM. And we're going to talk about what CIG puts out for minimum requirements and why we think you should maybe consider some other things. But there was a performance difference in RAM. So I would tell you guys at the very minimum, if you can shoot for 32 gig of RAM, I think GG, when you first got yours was 16 gig, you said, right? And you ended up upgrading your RAM?
Yeah, I upgraded to 32, and I am going to 64 as soon as I can actually get some more RAM. But like y'all said, it's hard to find computer parts and things these days. Everything's on back order. Everything's completely gone. So I'll get there when I get there.
Okay. So now my current rig that I have is a Ryzen 9. With 30, I can't remember what it was. I have a 3950X, and I got that because I was going to go with the 3900. I think the 3900 at the time was priced at about $4.25, roughly. But then because I told you the type of work I was doing, I needed multitasking because I do video editing, and I talked to a couple people who told me to go to the 3950X. And the reason why they told me to go there was because it brought me from the 12 cores to 16 cores. And for multitasking, that was going to be something that I would probably need. If it wasn't for that, then it wouldn't have been a big deal for me to stay at the 3900. So it was an additional $300 investment. Not only did it give me the cores, though, most people say that it also probably gives me another year to 2 years of life on my computer. So it was worth the transition for me to pay that extra $300. Like fastcart, I've got a 2880 Super for the graphics card. 64 gig of RAM. I'm running with two NVMe M2 drives in there. I think there's two 500 giggers in there, and then I've got like two SSDs that are probably two 1 terabytes that are running in there, and then I also have probably two hard drives that are 1 terabyte each, and those are just kind of storing things like Steam games and stuff. But I do have one of my cards that's dedicated. One of the NVMEs is dedicated to Star Citizen. I think it's got Star Citizen Elite Dangerous on it, are probably the two things that are on that. And I forget what's on the other one.
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
One of the things I like about my new build is that I'm going all SSD. I don't plan on putting a mechanical drive on there because I have mechanical drive fail on me. And I try to do backups and stuff like that, but sometimes you forget. Or sometimes you go months and months without thinking about doing another backup, and it's always a harder time when a mechanical hard drive fails. So I'm just going straight SSDs this time. And one of the good things is that in the future, they say by 2022, the prices of SSDs will be comparable to mechanical.
Well, they are now. We were just the other day, one of our friends, Gigi and I were talking with Mad Wolf just the other day, and he got himself a 500 gig SSD, the Samsung, and I think he paid $50 for it. And it was for 500 gig. Yes, yeah, so the prices are coming down.
Reliability going up.
Exactly, Kimmy. So anyway, that's my rig right now. Scuba Steve, good to see you. Good to see you drop in with us. Thanks, man. Scuba Steve is saying he plays on an i9 5960X and it still works. America still works. It still works for him. All right. So that's awesome, Scuba Steve. All right, let's shift over to Kimmy here. Let's see, Kimmy, talk to us about what you started with and where you're at now.
It's wow. What did I start with?
Star Citizen, yeah.
I think I had like a 3.5 or 350 gigahertz Intel at the time around 2013, 2014. And it was okay. It did all right. It's kind of a blur because I've upgraded a few times. But I was noticing how things were just moving slowly. Even at 1080p, I had to negotiate ultra settings or the highest settings for 1080p. But since then, I would say my most recent, if we dial up, but I would say my next two, okay, there's a middle grade and then there's the current now. That in 2016, I had the i770 CPU, which you can overclock to 4.2 gigahertz. And I had 32 gigabytes on it of memory, and I was using the 1080 Ti. That was 2016 was around the time 1080 Ti came out, and I was in the line, and I got the Founders Edition, and it was the brand was Toshiba was the brand. I use it even to this day on my streaming rig. It's a great card, very well built. And then what else? I was into I was just starting to get into the SSDs because around that time, that's when SIG had mentioned, Cloud Imperium Games started pushing the fact that, hey, your mechanical drives are not going to be as a welcome experience. So they or efficient, exactly, fastcart. So it was the push going into the SSD. So I initially went with the 500 gigabyte SSDs, entry level. And then also I started looking into the Optane drives, the 900p Intel Optane drives. That was when it was official that Intel started embracing that technology. That's when they threw in the Sabre Raven. And the M2 is the mini SATA. When you hear M.2, it's the mini SATA. It's the little cable connector in the front or the inside of your motherboard that you connect your drives to, which is basically mini SATA. And then later on, you started looking at the NVMe drives, the non-volatile memory express cards that will connect to the PCI bus right on the board. So it had a wider bandwidth, higher access. So initially I went with the M.2, and it was the deal that, Intel and Cloud Imperium Games had going on. And when you put the game onto the SSD, it was mind blowing as far as the rate that it would run, the instant going into the PU. So that became the standard. And so it's still, to this day, right now, I can still run Star Citizen on the i7-70 right now. Still, they've been, over the years, Cloud Imperium has been optimizing as far as the object container streaming, so we're good there. So the most recent thing, with the 30 series being introduced, as I said earlier, I missed out on my first initial chance to get one. And then after that, I was, heartbroken a little bit. But also, it was the time that AMD was also advertising their 59 series or the 5 series video cards and their CPUs. And with the negative press that Nvidia was getting because of the lack of volume that they were sending out their cards and technology, AMD was saying, "Oh, this is not going to happen. We got volumes. We got the numbers. We're gonna send it out." And the day it came out, it was the same exact thing. So all of us was left waiting. It's like, okay, come on, guys. So I was rooting for you. You guys had me rooting for you. And I said to myself, but then it was some other things.
Kimmy, let me interrupt you 1 second. Let me get Vickers in because before he scrolls out. Vickers says he's got an i7 7700K 4.2 gigahertz machine, 32 gig of Corsair Vengeance, the good old Vengeance RAM, a 1080 ROG Strix card, 1 terabyte Corsair, MP600, okay, NVMe and M2 drives. He says currently. Vickers, are you looking to, and getting about 30 frames a second, 40 frames a second, that's good. Are you looking to, you say current, is that because you're thinking about upgrading, or is that where you just recently upgraded into the M2s? Let us know. And Kimmy, let us know about what's your current rig, because you've kind of expanded into a whole nother realm now. Tell us about what you've got running now.
Yeah, and like Vickers said, I said it goes to 4.2. You can even overclock it higher. So right now, I was able to, going up to currently now, so I was able to, I was getting notifications. So the notification came through by Best Buy that they had the 3090 Founders Edition available. And that was one of the things that was one of the issues with NVIDIA, was that the third-party companies, manufacturers, were having problems with their capacitors. So you were hearing on the internet people who were buying the other outside of the EVGA, I think, MSIs and all these other brands were bricking. In other words, the capacitors were overheating and they were dead. So do me a favor, save the conversation about the cars, because we're going to cover graphics cards later. I want to know about what your rig is right now. What speed you're at, how much RAM. Tell them what your rig is. So currently I'm 3090 Founders Edition. 32 gigabytes of the Patriot memory. I opted to go with a faster memory as opposed to the larger capacity. I'm using a 4400 megahertz memory. Patriot is some of the fastest memory out there. Unfortunately, they didn't have 64 bits of it, so I opted for the 32, which is good. And then because you're dedicated to 2 channels, you'll have faster access. So it's a little slower when you fill them all up to 4 channels. So Going forward, the non-volatile memory express NVMe. I opted for the 970 Samsung version, which is totally dedicated to Star Citizen. I put nothing else but Star Citizen on that.
Nice.
So it has the space. It's 2 terabytes for that. So
that's not the operating system drive?
Say that again, fastcart. You said drive.
System. You don't have your operating system on that drive either? Star Citizen?
No, because I have 2 Toshiba gaming mechanical drives, the 7200 RPMs. They're not in RAID. I had them in RAID, but then later on it wasn't no point in putting them in RAID. So they're separate drives. One for like cataloging my games and videos, and the other one is for playing games like on Steam. So there's 2 separate drives. So one of those mechanical drives has the operating system on it. The NVMe or the Samsung SSD is on the back end just for Star Citizen. I even named it as S drive for Star Citizen. So
that's cool.
So I have those drives separated in that sense. And let's see, I have the Z490 motherboard. And here's another key thing about the Z490G, I believe it is. It has a wireless Wi-Fi antenna. And so I did that this is something to think about. I had an issue where I was downloading some things or installing the operating system. For some reason, the operating system did not want to attach to the Ethernet card. So I was able to enable the Wi-Fi, and I was picking up a signal, and it allowed me to download from the antenna. Okay. But also, you can also use the PS4 controller using a wireless connection, which is the option for me if I don't want to use the wires, and I like the PS4 controller with Star Citizen as well. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I think that kind of rounds it out. Oh, as far as the power supply, I'm using a Thor 1200 Asus power supply. Okay. Which that thing will drink. It will drink power. The 3090 will drink.
I almost got the 850 version. Go ahead.
850 is, if you're going to go 30 series, the minimum you want is a 850 power supply. Also, I went with the Ryujin Asus water cooler. That's a high-end liquid cooler for the CPU. And of course, I went with Intel 10900K. And I have it overclocked at 5.1 across all 10 cores.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Vickers, I saw, give me 1 second. Vickers, I saw what you said about your upgrade, not doing anything for at least another 2 years, and that'll be the 1080 when you swap that out. That sounds good. Scuba, see you got 2 1 terabyte SSDs in RAID 0. Okay. Jod, yeah, control shift escape to see what's really taxing your computer. Very good. And fist to face, Intel Core i7 20X. Running at 4.6 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 7.5 terabytes of HDD hard drive space, and SSD, mixture of NVMe SSD and mechanical, and Asus Strix X299. Wow, and a GTX 1080. Yeah, you guys are doing this up pretty good. I'm curious too, in chat, if you guys just want to type this in, feel free. Are you self-building, or are you buying, or are you having custom built? Just drop that in if you get time. Did you have a company that built it, like Origin or somebody who built your rig for you? Did you go ahead and go through the stuff yourself and build it, or did you purchase retail?
Had to go with Origin, didn't you?
No, I'm that Origin.
Different kind of Origin.
Okay, I know. Well, yeah, it did kind of subconscious thing just slid out, I guess, Okay, so those were great. You guys heard that our rigs have kind of all progressively moved. I think Kimmy's the only one who's running a 2-rig system because he does his streaming on one computer, and then he has his gaming rig. The rest of us are all using an individual rig for what we're doing. I think Fastcart's not streaming. Fastcart does stream on other people's streams. Gigi is streamed from time to time, and of course, obviously, I'm streaming because I'm the one that's running the show right now. Go ahead, Fastcart. What were you gonna say?
In 2018, I went. Some of us went to CitizenCon, but I went and I forget how I came across it, but I got the specification for the rig that they were using for the presentation, and they were using, they went all out. They had an 8086 K, that's like the super version of the 8700K, and they had so I built a PC part picker based on that one, and the money and everything didn't come together back then. But I've been thinking about upgrading for like 4 years. So.
Yeah. Okay.
To add to that real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Not even 30 seconds. To add to that, I spoke with Mike Smith. He does all the back end services, networking with Star Citizen, and he said we spoke on that. And the 8700K he said for some reason that Star Citizen loves this build, the 8700K. Yeah.
Kimmy, how much does that thing run though? Is it ain't cheap? Is it?
Which thing? What are we talking about?
8700K. 8700K.
They're a little cheaper now. They're getting long in the tooth now.
Oh, okay.
That was back in 2016.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So let me jump in real quick, and I'm going to speed up the clock just a little bit here because there's some more stuff that we want to show you guys. First thing I want to show you guys is this, which is, and bear with me here as I switch this out. What you see on the screen right now is CIG's. When you go on their website, what they say that you need to run Star Citizen. I won't even talk about Windows 7 or Windows 8, but Windows 10 is up there, obviously. A DirectX 7's graphics card with at least 2 gig of RAM. They want you to have at least 4 gig of RAM on your graphics card. Quad-core CPU at a minimum. Obviously, people are moving more toward at least an 8-core, 12-core, if you want to get some really good performance. And then last but not least, they say that you should get an SSD. Thank you, Jad. Always appreciate you stopping in. Really do. Let me say this to you guys. And Kimmy was around back then. fastcart was around back then, but GG wasn't. Do you guys remember what it was like before we got SSDs loading Star Citizen? Do you remember what that was like? I don't know. Kimmy, were you around back then?
Yeah, it was like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix when he was they shot at him with the bullets. And they did that.
Yeah, I always joke around and say that when you used to start Star Citizen, and this was just doing something as simple as, oh wow, thank you, Jad, for the subscription. Thank you, Prime subscription. Thank you. I used to always say that you could go make a sandwich and coffee and come back and Star Citizen wouldn't have been loaded. Yeah, I mean, it's totally...
Not even. You could do more than that. You can make...
Until I got an SSD, it would legit take me like 10 to 15 minutes to load into Star Citizen.
You could put a turkey in the oven, wait for it to cook.
Like, I could cook a whole dinner, come back, and I'd just be loading in, boots on the ground. Still need to wait a few minutes before everything loads in, and I can move around safely.
I know. I forgot, Gigi. I was thinking that you had an SSD in the beginning, but I forgot you didn't. You had a hard drive in the beginning too. That's right.
Not only that, but Griff, I was on Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would take me 3 days to do a Star Citizen download because I was on Wi-Fi.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I was having an idea with Relay a few years back. I was thinking about, a lot of people don't have fast internet and things. So I was thinking maybe we could put together like a Star Citizen community thing where people would put on Star Citizen download on a USB, mail them out, and have them mail back the drive, so we can just keep on reissuing them. But now that because of the I forgot what it's called, but the pack isn't as big as anymore. There's no need for that anymore.
Right. Yeah. Buns 3N. Thank you. I said Bun Son. Well, you know what I'm saying, Buns. Thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate that. And to tell you something, fastcart, in Test Squadron, we had some people who lived in rural areas where they had just terrible internet, where they would get a 2 or 3 day, sometimes 4 days to download. And what they would do is people would send them USB drives. That would be the way that they would help them get the game loaded back then, because it was just terrible, if you had terrible internet service. trying to get the thing going. So okay, so we're going to show you guys, that's the PC requirements. We're going to show you an old video. This is from 7 years ago, and this is Chris Roberts showing us him putting together his rig at CIG. And some of you guys, the old timers, might remember this, but it'll be something interesting to see.
That's the screw.
That's why you didn't put all the resistance is futile when the PC requirements were.
Cal 3930K, which we're going to overclock. A Corsair 600 GT case. Corsair high airflow fans. Has a Asus X79 Deluxe motherboard. Gigabyte GT X680 overclocked. It's cooled with the Corsair H100 and has Corsair Platinum Dominator memory in 1050 professional HX power supply. So it's pretty much a Corsair build. There's an SSD for the main drive. There's a 3TB hard drive. I have a Blu-ray.
As far as
now, that was back 7 years ago, and you could probably imagine
dinosaur.
Yeah, you could probably imagine how much that thing cost back then. A 3TB hard drive 7 years ago was, I don't know how many thousands of dollars that had to have been back then. I am bot, thank you for the follow, but we're talking a lot of money just for that SSD that he had. Kimmy, you said something earlier that I completely forgot to mention about my rig too, and I'm glad you mentioned it. And that was the Intel, what was it called? The drive, the
NVMe?
No, the Optane drive.
Yes,
again with another 500 bits.
Mad Style. Thank you, Mad Style.
Thank you.
Wow.
Always hooking us up. Thank you, Mad Style. Yeah, I completely forgot about that drive. That was one that we both had gotten. And wow, Vickers, thank you for gifting the sub. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that drive was, like Kimmy said, that was like the drive to get back when it came out. And of course you got a Saber Raven when you got it as well. But it was another drive that I forgot to mention. Okay, so that was Chris Roberts building, at that time would have been considered like the ultimate rig to play Star Citizen, and that was 7 years ago. Let's take a look at Community Manager Steve is now hosting. Thank you guys for the host. Oh my God, thank you all for the host. I saw that earlier.
For the host.
Yes, thank you.
Community Manager Steve for the host.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you guys.
VerseCon. Oh gosh, thank you guys for the host. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Scuba Steve, I saw yours earlier too. Thank you for the host.
So you guys are wonderful.
Next, gosh, really Magic Static. Thank you guys for the host. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is this is considered a Skater Terry. Thank you for the host. I can't get through this sentence because they keep doing stuff.
Give me a minute, group.
Okay, well, I'll just sit here and wait. Okay, thank you, Zulu Group. We appreciate that.
So we got an anonymous 5 gifted subs.
Mad Style.
Jeez, oh my gosh. Oh,
thank you.
Now we got to listen to James Brown 5 times.
And appreciate you and your support, and we thank you so much.
St. Tosin.
Yeah, we got to listen to James Brown.
Thanks for the sub.
Yeah. Well, come on, James.
James is wore out,
we got a couple more. Yeah, really the hardest working man in the business for real.
His foot is gone. He's trying to get up on his good foot. Lucky 13 guy. Thank you.
Yes,
07.
Thank you for those. Mad Style, thank you for hooking everybody up with those tips. Okay.
Dietrich.
All right.
2495. 07.
I know. Mad Style hooked everybody up today. Thank you guys. Shipwreck,
really
thank you. Thank you for the host, Shipwreck. We appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to continue now. You guys can keep ringing these bells all you want to. All right.
07
So
Dark Knight 75.
the next thing, Dark Knight. Good to see you. Yes, Dark Knight.
Doing, honey?
We had Dark Knight on last week.
Buddy.
Yeah, we had Dark Knight on last week. He's a good guy. Okay, so the next rig is a mid-size rig. This is for probably just the average person. Now, this is from 5 years ago, though, so we're kind of working our way up to today, guys. And this was done by Montoya over at SQUADRON. I'm using his video because I told him I was going to use it. I don't have to worry about him getting any trouble for using this video. But I want you to see what he did as far as his build. And I think he's got his specs on the screen as well, so let's take a look at that.
What I have in there, in case you've missed it, it is a i7 4790K. It is stock right now. I have not overclocked, but when I do want to overclock, I can, because it is cooled by an H100i liquid cooler from Corsair. The motherboard is a Gigabyte Z97. The memory is a Kingston 16 gig. Storage, I went to the crucial 500 gig. All powered by the Corsair AX860i. Lots of room there for more cards to go in. And the case is an NZXT Phantom. Beautiful case. But Montoya, what happened to that beautiful yellow case? Well, some moron ordered a micro AXT and it didn't fit my motherboard. Let's not speak about that anymore, right?
Okay, so that was Montoya's rig, and at that time, this was from 5 years ago. It was a what we would consider a mid-range rig, but it was definitely a rig that you could play Star Citizen on. He's running on an i7. For those of you guys who run i7 still, you could probably say i7s are still very reliable processors for running Star Citizen. i7 is kind of considered Intel's gamers processor, versus the i5. i5 is kind of like something you can work on Photoshop and other stuff, but once you move up to an i7, then that was kind of much what a lot of streamers were using. And of course, if you had the bucks, you could move up to an i9. I'm an AMD guy. I left Intel a long time ago, but I do try to keep up with the technology and what people are using. Yeah, fastcart.
That's something we should talk about. Like, I consider myself graphics card agnostic. It doesn't matter if it's NVIDIA or AMD. I went for the best bang for the buck. I've always been Intel loyalist. I wouldn't say fanboy, but Intel loyalist until recently. And this is probably my first ever AMD build ever.
Okay, got you. Kimmy, what about you? You've been Intel all this time, or have you shifted back and forth? It all depends on what's out there for you.
I've been mainly Intel. At some years ago, I would say I tried AMD, but most part Intel. But I am liking what AMD is doing currently now.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, it was mainly Intel.
Okay. All right, Gigi, I think we already know. She told us she's on a Ryzen 5, so she's using AMD, and I'm using AMD as well.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and shift up now. Now, this rig is from a guy, you guys can look this up, and fastcart, if you don't mind putting this guy's a link in, because this is somebody we do want to put out, because people will be curious about this. This guy has probably the most rig I've seen. I've seen a lot of custom rigs.
Rig.
I've seen, dude, rig. So you don't trust me, Kimmy. When you see this, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I've seen some custom rigs before. Now, admittedly, he is a flight sim enthusiast, but he has also custom tailored this thing, not only for regular flight sims, but you could tell he has really put the work in relation to Star Citizen. And we're only going to watch a couple minutes of his video, but I want you guys to see this, because it's I don't know if it's amazing or crazy. So you can take your pick which one you want to go with. Here we go.
Let's take a look at the state of the sim pit in 2020. There are many sim pits out there, but this one is mine. Built from scratch, customized and upgraded over the years, changing to fit ever-evolving needs. It features 3 integrated displays and hundreds of inputs. But I'm someone who has a need to constantly improve and to make things that push the limits. And with this sim pit, you'll find features that are unique to this configuration. We'll begin with displays. And the highlight of the integrated display technology is a holographic targeting computer. And using a Pepper's Ghost hologram, operating in much the same manner to a heads-up display in a car or aircraft. Contained in a bespoke box and an articulated piston arm, it can be positioned wherever needed. The targeting computer can be used as an auxiliary display, but more importantly, it can be used to see what your gunner is seeing in real time, and because of the transparency, it doesn't block your own field of view. With a little practice, shifting the focus of your eyes allows you to see what's on the holographic targeting display or past it. The hologram is achieved by placing a piece of plexiglass at a 45-degree angle to an LCD screen. The plexiglass has been treated to eliminate double reflections. This gives a crisp, sharp image on the targeting computer that isn't achievable with normal glass. And the transmissive and reflective properties of the glass provide contrast to see through to the main display. It is a full-on duplication of the gunner's monitor in real time. It's not limited to Star Citizen, nor is it limited to turrets.
This guy's an engineer.
The main display is a 32:9 5120 by 1440 resolution monitor. This super ultra-wide configuration gives an immersive field of view, and the physical size of the screen perfectly aligns with the size of the sim.
What year is this again?
The
This
center
year.
heads-down display can be used
I think he did this back
for
in December.
communication, in-game information,
14.4.
stream information,
4K.
anything that can be opened in a browser, and more.
Okay, so enough of that. Now,
I'm gonna just go ahead and say hard no.
yeah,
right up front.
I agree. For me, it's a lot. I mean, it's
Wait,
I hope he's
and
good.
again, I will.
In-game.
I only get it because he's a hardcore flight sim person, and it's not just for Star Citizen. To build, if you just build a Star Citizen, I think you're psychotic. But I will say this, it's amazing to see, and he said he built it from scratch. So this is something that and in fact, it took him years to do this. He's been adding to it over time. This wasn't just one sit down and build the rig, but he's been adding to it and customizing it and bringing it up. But it goes to show you the length of what people will go to. I'm looking at what Given says, shut up and take my money. I'm not paying that much money. It's too much for
It's
me.
not even about the money for me at that point. It's more about just how much I would have to remember and how much I would know how to have to know how to operate.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to put that
It's almost
much
like a heavy
thought process.
Yeah.
It's almost like a heavy machinery.
Heavy machinery, exactly. I wouldn't put that much thought process into playing video games.
It's
No,
a
I was
lot.
gonna say, if you put in $5,000 or $10,000 into Star Citizen, I can see people putting equally as much, a quarter as much into a good PC rig, or even a combat sim for that matter. So,
Well, next week when we talk on the show,
It just equates to
If you
passion.
think that was a quarter of $10,000, you're insane. That was
No, I'm just saying example.
All day, every day.
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You know what? Here's the thing. I can deal with that as opposed to someone complaining about performance on the game and their rig is minimal, and they spent maybe $30K on just chips.
hey, that would be pretty
I'm
bad.
like, okay, I can
That
work
would be
with
pretty
that
bad.
as opposed to the other.
That would
For
be
sure.
pretty bad. But it's interesting. I think that you do have different types of players. You've got, like, for example, there are people who love playing. What's the game that everybody likes playing? The military game everybody loves playing.
Call of Duty.
No, not Call of Duty. The other one, the one that's real.
Battlefield?
Fortnite.
No, guys, you're going the wrong direction. The one that's really like a real military. Somebody in
Stuff the
chat,
Army?
please tell me. DCS. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
DCS
Okay.
World.
Now,
DCS World.
if you ever guys have gone into DCS,
Yeah. DCS
just
World.
to start up a ship, just to get it started, you've got to hit
Oh,
about
yeah.
20 or 30 buttons just to get the thing to even turn on, right?
The actual buttons.
And there are some people who, because they're into that, maybe they're former pilots, whatever, they like the realism. Then you've got the other people who say, hey,
I play it.
where's the flight ready button? Boom. That's all I want to hit. I want to jump into the game and get going, right? So, those rigs are all based upon what people want to be able to do. Arma is another one. Thank you, Arma. Those are, some people want that level of detail. For me, it's too much for me. It's nice, it's pretty, but as far as gameplay goes, I'm like GG. I'd probably forget what button goes to what after a while. It's not a chicken. Thank you for the follow.
07.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
Before that, it was Falcon for me. Before DCS,
Falcon.
it was Falcon.
Oh, but Falcon
yes.
was easy compared to DCS. Oh my God. I mean, don't get me
But it
wrong.
was
Falcon was
at-
tough.
yeah,
Falcon was
it
tough.
was
You're
the
right.
quintessential, though.
Falcon was the bomb. Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to be
Yep.
for realism, Falcon was it. The freaking manual was like freaking 300, 400 pages long.
Microprose. Yeah, I still have it. I still have it to this day.
Put this in a little bit of a historical perspective. I mean, I'm not I haven't been gaming as long as Griffin had, but I remember back in the late 1990s, the Voodoo cards were everything
Voodoo
people
3D
were trying to
FX.
for gaming and everything, and people were like, "Are you crazy? You're gonna buy a whole separate card just to play games on?" And now
Don't forget
look at where we are.
SLI.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
forget the SLI. That's where NVIDIA brought that technology from them.
That's very, very true.
Right.
Very true. Very
Scanline
true.
interleave for
Very
the two
true.
cards
So
working vertical and horizontal.
So it's always been a case of people wanting to put more money into the rig. It's just a matter of scale.
Yeah, very true. Okay, guys, we're going to jump into it now, and this is where you guys get to help contribute this. Now, by the way, we're doing a special giveaway that's sponsored by Kimmy today. Kimmy65 is doing a really good special. Kimmy, why don't you let folks know what it is that we're going to be doing the giveaway on, and then they can start getting mentally prepped for it, and we'll let you know when to put in for it.
You know, so as we were talking about hardware and basically the hardware and all these other pieces that will bring us into the game much better, the interaction, it's all about that. I'm going to go ahead and sponsor this and say, okay, we're going to do Scitec Combat Pro pedals. So for those who are looking for that extra bit of immersion, these are metal for using the pedals in the game, where you can do a left-right roll, or you can do yaw and pitch or break with these. And they're USB based, so it works with Windows. So whatever you want to set them at, it's going to add to that extra experience.
Yep. And we're going to be doing the giveaway for that.
Citizen.
And Kimmy's sponsoring those today to you guys. So when we get a little bit later in, we're gonna do a little giveaway time for that. And one of you guys will be lucky enough to have those. The real McCoy. If you want to get into that whole flight sim thing at a whole nother level, you know, a lot of us have got joysticks, but we don't have pedals. If you want to go to that next level, Kimmy's going to help introduce you into that. So, you know, be ready. All right.
This is one of the few times we did not advertise the giveaway, because we wanted this giveaway to be specifically for the people that are our regulars, that are always here every Sunday. We see y'all's faces in the chat. Y'all are talking, and, you know, just, we love you guys so much. You guys are so good to us. You support us so much. You're here every single week. And so we really did want to do something for you. And with Kimmy being so nice to do that giveaway for you guys, we wanted this to be just for the Soul Citizens, because we really do appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some of the folks on the team for Soul Citizens made a decision a week ago. This is a bit of a surprise decision. You guys heard when we were going through our rigs and talking about what we all have, you know, Fastcart's in the process of building his brand new rig, and he's got most of his parts, like 90%, 80% of his stuff he's got. Kimmy's
the CPU.
Yeah, Kimmy's there. He's got his. I've got mine. But our little lovely Gigi with Pico over there needs a graphics card. And so we have decided that today we're going to contribute, and we're going to ask if you guys want to help support. She doesn't know about this, but we want to get her a graphics card so that she can play Star Citizen with all of you guys and be out there playing. So here's the deal, guys. Anything that gets donated today, we're going to shift to help Gigi's graphics card, and we're going to contribute to. But we want you, if you want to do that, if you want to give, that's fine. But we want Gigi to be able to play Star Citizen and enjoy it like everybody else does, because she's here every time we ask her to come on the show, even though she hasn't been. I don't think you've been on the game since 310, maybe 39, 310. So anyway, you guys give toward that if you guys want to help her get a graphics card. She started a little thing. What is it, about a couple months ago? You did a thing with what was that game called? Among Us. Yeah, you had a bunch of us on doing Among Us, and she got some contributions that night, and she probably got maybe a third of the way there. Maybe, I don't even know, because the card you want isn't the card you want. You need a better card than that card you get. You need a better card than the one you picked. So if you guys want to contribute to that, you want to give today, it's going to go toward Gigi's card. Okay.
So where do they donate?
They can donate straight through like normal. What we're going to do, we've got funds in, and I know how to. I can divide it up. Is it
a tip or something, or?
Yeah, if you want to do it through the donation button, you can do it through the donation button, or if you want to do it through subscriptions or whatever, Twitch, you can do it that way. You can do it through our Patreon too. We have Patreon too. So whatever's the easiest way that you guys want to do that, you can do it. Boom! Ops Chief just donated $10. Awesome. All right, Ops Chief is kicking it off.
Oh man!
Ops Chief is kicking it off. Okay. Ops Chief is kicking it off, so whatever you guys want to contribute.
Don't make me cry, y'all. I wear too much makeup.
Stop it.
Okay, so let's just.
All right.
I'm gonna cry my eyelashes off.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start talking about the computer parts, and we're gonna let you guys know when we start the giveaway too.
Wow.
So we got a little time, but we're gonna start that in a little bit as well. All right. So let's start off with the very first item here. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. And one of the things we want to talk about is why this is important, starting out with your processor. Back in the day, a lot of people, they favored certain processors, right? The main reason why people used to like AMD so much was because AMD was cheaper than Intel.
Cheap.
But the compromise is that AMD ran hot. And that was a problem for a lot of people. So you had to determine whether or not you're going to build a case that could keep your system cool enough and not overheat, or whether you'd pay the money for Intel. And Intel for many, many years dominated when it came down to speed. AMD started getting their game together. Oh, we've got another. Kimmy. Who? Kimmy. There we go.
Kimmy. Oh my God.
All right. So Kimmy just tossed in. There we go. All right, Kimmy just tossed in for the donation.
That's what she said. Fastcart, you're getting slow, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That was a good one. I give you pop for that one. Good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. We're gonna pull that clip. We're gonna pull that clip for sure. Okay. There's another one. Dark Knight. Oh my God, Dark Knight. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so cool.
Love you guys, man.
Thank you, everyone. I really do love you guys and appreciate you guys.
Oh God, we're looping.
Dark Knight. Oh, 7.
Dark Knight. Oh my God. Oh,
okay, so you guys are gonna mess up GG tonight with this thing.
Yo, man,
right.
oh my God.
No, you didn't, man.
What did Man Style do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Okay.
freaking 7, y'all.
What did Man Style do?
No,
I missed it.
Wow. This is nuts.
I missed it. What did he do?
Last time donated.
Shutting the show down.
Oh my
See
God.
that? Okay.
Oh my God, I missed it. What did he do?
Yeah, I missed
He's
it.
shutting the show down.
GD, turn your speaker down. We're looping through. We're looping through on somebody.
That must be me.
Oh, is it you?
Is it me?
I don't know. Yeah, it's Kimmy.
Yeah, it is you.
It's Kimmy. Somebody.
That must be me.
Oh, is it you?
Is it me?
There you go. It was Kimmy.
Yeah, it is you.
You sure it was me? I didn't do anything.
You're lighting up, dude. Okay, now it's gone. Nope, no, it's not. It's still coming through.
You sure it was me? I didn't do anything.
You're lighting up, dude.
Yeah, it's coming because you're still
Okay,
green.
let's see here.
And Gigi isn't green.
No, it's not. It's still coming through. Sorry about that, guys. Give us 1 second.
Because you're still
Okay,
green.
let's see here.
And Gigi isn't green.
Sorry about that, guys. Give us. You clicked on something. I don't know what you clicked. Fastcart. Wow. Thank you. Okay.
If everybody could stop so I don't cry, that would be great. Because I don't want to cry on screen. So that would be awesome if we could not make me cry. Because I don't want to cry on screen. So that would be awesome.
Kimmy, you may have to go to push to talk because you're still looping through. I don't know what's going through, but you're still looping through.
Who, me, Griff?
Kimmy, you may have to go to push to talk because.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what's going through, but you're still looping.
Yeah, for some reason.
Oh, wait.
Oh my god.
I don't know where that's coming from.
My routing
I don't
is.
think it's me.
It's coming through Kimmy.
Good.
It's coming. Kimmy's lighting up in Discord every time, so I know it's.
I don't know where that.
It stopped
My
now.
routing
I don't think
is-
it's me.
It stopped now.
Okay.
It stopped now.
Good.
It's coming. Kimmy's lighting up in Discord. No, it didn't.
No, I didn't. Kimmy,
No,
just
I'm
go to
still
push to
hearing
talk,
that.
buddy.
Yeah, go to push to talk.
Push to talk in Discord.
No. Oh. No, Kenny's muted, so I'm still hearing it.
Okay, sorry guys. Okay, we're gonna jump back into the show, guys. I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for the donations for GG. You guys are fabulous as always. Let's talk about some about the processors for Intel and Ryzen. Again, that was one of the big distinctions in them years ago, but AMD started stepping up their game, and now they're very comparable. Intel still usually does have a little bit edge on pricing. AMD has been winning them in the race recently, but Intel, if I'm not mistaken, they're coming out with some new processors, aren't they, or did they? I don't know if Kimmy, can you, because I know Kimmy's on the Intel piece. Do you remember, Kimmy, did they come out with new processors yet?
Is this Intel?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the 11900K, I believe. And it's getting a little more yield out of it, like a 5.2 across all boards if you want to do an overclock. Yep.
Wow, that's nice. How much does that sucker run? Do you know roughly?
It's somewhere in the low 5s.
Okay.
Off top of my head, let me look it up. But yeah, that's the latest
for Intel.
Their latest CPU.
Wow.
Yep.
Given Chuba, thank you so much for the $10 donation for GG. Mr. Gasket, thank you for the follow. We saw
That's
you drop
awesome,
in.
guys.
Thank you. You guys are gonna make it happen, boy. Jeez, oh Pete, you're making her look at she's smiling, y'all. She don't smile that often, y'all. So take advantage of it while you can. Okay.
I'm not.
All right.
Let's make it happen, Captain.
Do y'all remember when we all had a Dell and everybody had a Pentium 5?
Oh God.
A Dell? No, I never had a Dell. No, I stayed away from Dell.
With an Intel Pentium 5.
I've always got my own. I've always got my well. That's not true. I had a ThinkPad.
I was young, and my mom was not about to spend the money that it would have cost for me to build my own, so that was just what she bought.
CN Shoot, you said 11th generation Intel MB is late February. Okay, coming up the next month. Awesome. Yeah, you talking about girl shoot? You talking about Dell? We can go all the way back to freaking Tandy, Radio Shack. You ain't going back far enough in the clock.
Gateway. You remember Gateway?
I used to work at Radio Shack.
Really?
I used to be in there all the time because I had to go after school, picking up all them little bitty pieces that would not fit on anything that ever is made anytime after like 99 at this point.
Griffin, I got you.
Red, yellow, and white cables that you used to have to do for audio of the TV.
That's funny.
Don't forget Gateway.
Griffin,
remember Gateway computers?
Gateway, yeah.
Commodore 64, man. Commodore 64.
Commodore, I can beat you out on that one even. You can go back to the freaking Timex computers if you remember them bad fellas, Jack.
All right, now.
All right.
You got me. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
8088.
Yeah, the 8088. There you go, brother. All right. Yeah,
that was the Dungeons and Dragons. Remember?
Yeah, that's true. Given, I know you didn't ask for the reverb. Sorry about that. Tandy TRS80. Mad Style knows what we're talking about. See, that's the deal right there. All right, we're going all the way back. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. Tandy 1000. I remember that too. All right, let's go on beyond processors, guys. Oh, again, here's the other thing that we forgot to mention with you all. The reason why your processor is important is because you don't forget the processor has to match the motherboard. Please remember that, because people often forget that. They'll see a motherboard they like and they don't remember that they have to make sure that it's compatible with their processor. So because the what do you call it? The God, I'm drawing a blank. The chipset and it won't even fit the pins. Thank you. They won't even fit unless they match up right. Exactly, they won't seat in there correctly. Okay, so let's move on past.
And that's a good thing for PC Part Picker. That it helps you sort through that.
Absolutely. It shows compatibility with whatever you want to buy. And it'll let you know if you want to buy something and it doesn't work, it'll let you know on the website. All right, so now we're moving to motherboards. Now this happens to be the motherboard that I'm using on the Asus, but motherboards are going to be your other investment. These can run you anywhere from, depending on how many features you want them, like Kimmy mentioned earlier. If you want to consider more high end, which is going to have Wi-Fi, things of that nature, you're going to pay a little bit more for a motherboard. Motherboards can be very expensive, believe it or not. But they can also be very inexpensive. But for gaming, and because you want to be able to have those extra slots for things like NVMEs, SSDs, things of that nature, to be able to use them, you're probably going to want to find a mid-range board. And that's usually going to cost you over $200. You can catch something on sale maybe for less than, but I would probably say it's going to cost you more than that. But people can pay hundreds of dollars for a motherboard.
Try that MSI Godlike.
How much is that?
About almost $1,000.
How much?
Yeah, the Asus formula is like $700 almost, or something like that.
Godlike, they call it.
The Godlike. Okay. All right. Motherboards. fastcart. Which one did you get? Which one did you buy for your rig? For the new one?
I have to look it up, but it's the Asus 5700X.
Okay, that's
Crosshair. That's the Crosshair Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. And Kimmy, who did you go with? Which manufacturer did you go with?
Rogue Strix.
The Rogue Strix, right? You got the Rogue Strix, right?
Z490G for the antenna.
Okay.
Wi-Fi
They've always been Asus for like forever.
Dark Knight.
Asus.
Dark Knight says he's with AMD, the B450. I remember the 450. I looked at that one. Yeah, or 550. Yep, those are good ones as well. Yeah, Dark Knight said the 5600K modems. Yeah, I remember those too. All right, thank God we don't have to buy those anymore. Okay, now here's something we didn't talk about earlier was how do we keep our systems cool? And you have two different ways that you can do that. fastcart, are you using fans or are you using coolers? Are you using fans?
Fans. I don't trust. It's not I don't trust it. It's just that I hear if a water cooler or if an AIO water cooler break, it can mess up your whole system. I don't want to have to worry about that. The only thing I have to worry about with the big fan that you put on your CPU is that maybe if your motherboard isn't supported correctly, it could bend the motherboard. But that's hardly ever happened to me.
Yeah.
hardly ever happen. But you know, both have drawbacks, both have advantages.
Gigi, do you know, is your system water cooled or fan cooled? Gigi, did we lose her? Oh.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh.
My system is fan cooled, not water cooled.
You're fan cooled? Okay. Kimmy, how about you?
I am definitely a pro liquid cooled person.
Okay.
And people will kind of downplay the liquid cooling and say it's going to fail, but when you look at the lifespan of your CPU, it falls into line of the lifespan of it. So I go with the radiator.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, for me, it's just that if a water cooler failed, I keep my PC on overnight. So if it failed, it could be quite catastrophic because I may not catch until like morning and be too hot or whatever. So I may not be around if it fails. So that's why I prefer fan.
Wait, what are you over there running that thing? Were you running that thing for heat over there? Or are you keeping it on 24 hours? Are you running those heat in your apartment?
That's an old school thing, man.
I'm just
to
teasing.
Have it running. It's better to have it running.
I know. I'm just teasing him about it. Yeah. I'm like Kimmy. I've got a water cool system. The last two systems I built, the last one I built was my first time going water cooled. I went that way again the second time. The one thing that I will say that has happened with fans is that fans have gotten better. And now they're very comparable to water cool. So now it's almost become a matter of preference more than one being quote unquote better than the other. But I'm amazed at how big these fans have gotten. Some of these fans are monsters in size.
One is a monster. And the thing, I got a Noctua one. Noctua used to be all brown and ugly. They make black ones now, so they make them pretty now. Yeah, the one I got is Noctua, but it's black.
Yeah, and the one that you guys see on the screen right now, if you notice, if you're not familiar with these and to see the difference in them, before they used to just be a fan. But now you can see on this one, there are radiators that are on it as well on the bottom. So they've gotten very, much more complex. And again, they're comparable to water cool systems. What were you gonna say, Kimmy?
I'm gonna add to that too, Griff. To that, what you're looking at, that image right there, here's a great FYI if you do decide to go with this air fan. Go ahead and purchase another fan as well, because you can actually have a push-pull on the other side of that fin, on the back side of that fin. You can connect another fan.
Okay, very cool.
Just buy a fan that had both sides.
Yeah, yep.
When you purchase it, it won't have it, so you want to check for that.
Yeah, make sure. Let's talk about this too, because Kimmy had mentioned this earlier about the importance of this one, and we don't want to miss it. And the reason why I put this where I did is because of exactly what Kimmy said. One of the things for you as gamers you have to think about is air circulation. It's a huge factor for your system remaining cool, and there needs to be a push-pull factor in it. So you want air coming in one way, going out another. Sometimes when people put their systems together, they're not paying attention to the direction of their fans, and they're either blowing air in constantly or sucking air out constantly. And they don't realize that it's not functioning the way that you do it. So a case is very important. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of times we're buying cases thinking about, what can I fit in here? How many things can I fit in? The other thing that you need to think about is the way air circulates within that case as well. And there are some fans that look very fancy, very cool, glass, all that stuff. Like I've got one with the great glass and lights and all other stuff. But all that means nothing if your system overheats all the time, or if you're getting a lot of noise. So you really want to think about, when you're getting a case, the type of case that's going to give you good airflow, plenty of space, cable management, all that good stuff. And don't forget, every once in a while, canned air, blow that sucker out, get the dust out of it every once in a blue moon.
I use a vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner, right, whatever it is.
And clean out your filters.
Yes, and clean your filters as well. Kimmy, do you remember what case you have? There's a certain manufacturer that you lean toward. Who was it?
I kind of lean towards the Corsair, and because I used to tie in the liquid cooling with the case, the Corsair. They did a one-stop shop type of deal. So currently my latest case is the 465X. Has very adequate cooling, but for the fact that when I paired it up with the 3090, it ran hot. I mean, really, really hot. And so there was a glass case in front of the 465X. Since then, I removed it. And the good thing is there's filtering in the front of it, front of the case. So it's just pulling air directly full frontal through the whole entire case. So it runs very well. But yeah, you want to think about your cooling and space. And then here's another FYI. We tend to think we can jam or cram in high-end parts into a little mini case. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
It depends on the case, but yeah, it depends.
fastcart.
There are some small cases that allow for that, especially like the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
fastcart, could you talk a little bit about, you talked about your case being special for a certain reason. Could you talk about that flexibility of having a case like the one you wanted to order?
Oh, the one I wanted to order. Well, the one I wanted to order was it's Cooler Master, not a Scout, but I forget the name of it. But it's a master case. It has a handle on the top of it, so I can just lift it up and with one hand and put it on my desk. And
nice.
But the one I have is the one I wind up getting is the Asus case. They have two straps on the top. It comes with the case, and I can just use both hands to lift it up and put it on the case. The good thing about the one that I got, the Asus one, is actually 10 pounds lighter than the Cooler Master one, because that was like mostly glass and going to be heavier. It was like 37 pounds, but the one I got is like 25 pounds. So once you put all the components in it, it should be easier for me to handle.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
And we've been dropping some good name brands as well. Another good name brand is Leon Lee. They make some excellent cases.
Okay. And Gigi, yours was, you get a custom built that was from CyberPower, right? Yours is. Do you know what case? I don't know if do they use their own? I think they use their own cases. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a CyberPower case. It literally has CyberPower stamped on it. So
okay. And I changed manufacturers. I was a Corsair guy, then I was the NXZT guy for a while.
Yes.
NZXT, I love it.
I've had them at one time.
And then this last time I shifted to Thermal Take. I've never used them before. And like you, Kimmy and fastcart, I kind of
Thermal Tech or Take?
Thermal Take. And I ended up getting their both their 3 front fan or radiator rather.
Yes.
And I got their power supply too. I just decided to just kind of keep at least that part, all of them. And we'll talk about power supplies in a little bit, but that was the case that I went with with that one. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's shift up again here and let's talk about these, because fastcart had a certain opinion about these and I talked about having these. fastcart, explain one more time. You said you're shifting away from hard drives, right?
Yeah, I'm shifting away to hard drive. I got 2 of these. I'm not gonna put it in RAID or anything, but I also have the Nvme. So I'm gonna have 4.5 terabytes all told, and I have a 5 terabyte in my current build, but I'm not even using all of that. So I think between these 3, I should be covered. But yeah, I just every once in a while a hard drive failed or to get an error, and you got to replace it. I'm hoping that I've had my Samsung 240 gigabyte one for a number of years now. That's been going strong, so I'm going to see if I have better luck with solid state rather than mechanical.
Okay, cool.
We'll see.
Gigi, what about you? You got hard drive and SSD, or just SSD, or what?
A hard drive and SSD, and the SSD is separate and only for Star Citizen because it just would not run on my rig without. It was so slow. It would take 10-20 minutes sometimes to get in, and it was a mess. Even when I was in, like, the people around me could never quite tell what I was doing, because let's say I'm running. Well, for them, I'm running way faster than I'm running for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like slamming into everyone I'm playing with and doing them damage, like hurting them in the game. Because they don't know and I don't know, and which you have indeed seen that. And it just became too much. So yeah, I went for the SSD.
Okay. And Kimmy, what about you? Are you doing a mixture of both, or are you all on the electronic side of it now?
A mixture of both, because my Steam-based games, even Cyberpunk 2077, it runs fine on the mechanical drive. So, like Gigi, I am using the non-volatile Memory Express NVMe 2 terabyte strictly for Star Citizen. That's it. Okay. When you get the PTU and the live, that's enough for both. When we get those updates for PTU, it runs great. Let me tell you, it runs great.
I would just like to say, Ops, yes, Ops Chief, because you were there the day I slammed into Griffin.
Ouch.
Fair enough.
What happened? What hit me?
Fair enough.
What happened?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, we talked a little. Oh, and I'm using both as well. Mine were carryovers from my last rig, and it was because, like Kimmy said, all my Steam games were on those, and so I store Steam games and I store data from doing like work in Photoshop or whatever, because it's just stored data. It's not a big deal. My programs like Photoshop and DaVinci and stuff like that are all on SSDs, but for storage and data, they're a cheap way to be able to do that. Mr. Gasket, thank you for the follow. And guys, don't forget, we're doing a fundraiser here for Gigi for her to get a real graphics card, not an integrated graphics card, so that she can play Star Citizen with us. We want her to have a nice standalone card. Doesn't have to be, we're not going off to the moon and getting a 3090, but we are going to get her something that's nice that'll last her a little while. So if you guys want to donate, use the donate button. And any money that comes in through there, we're going to use toward helping her out with getting a graphics card. SSDs, we talked about these a little bit earlier. All of us have talked about the fact that we own them. For those of you who do own them, and you know, when SSDs first came out, just to get a simple one for like 256 gig or whatever, Mad Style. Thank you, Mad Style. As always, thank you, Mad Style.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. Let me, before I go into this, guys, on Drog, he says, I have one hard drive, 2 SSDs, and looking for a third one. If you're looking for a third one, we're going to be doing giveaways next week when we do our part show, and we're going to be giving away SSDs. So you might want to show up next week. Yeah, I know y'all didn't know that, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. So we're going to be some giveaways next week. Some giveaways, absolutely. And
I mean, wouldn't it be nice, Oni, to get that new one for free just by watching a stream?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
so Griffin, I have to drop from Soul Citizen in order to be eligible, right?
Yes, you can. We've been thinking about kicking you out already, so don't worry. We can make that arranged for next week, if possible.
Yes.
But anyway, okay.
Today, can we not today?
Let me give a shout out real quick. Let me give a shout out real quick. Nubifier is here. And I am saying this because he's here, guys. Nubifier is a good friend of ours, and he knows that now. But Nubifier has a great video. Oh wow, Envoy, thank you for the donation. Thank you so much for the donation. You guys are getting GG to that graphics card. Thank you.
Nubifier about his rig.
Nubifier, Nubifier.
He's got a killer rig.
Yeah, fastcart. Do me a favor. Could you put his link in there, because I think I dropped it in. Nubifier has a great a video on building rigs for Star Citizen, so please take a look at it. It's even though it was made a little while ago, not a long time ago, but it's still current. So if you guys want to find a real quick source, and the reason why I'm referencing his is because you guys know he's known for making quick videos and getting them done fast. So if you want to have a good step-by-step of the things you should consider when you're building a rig, please take a look at his video. We dropped the link in chat there for you as well. So again, don't forget, we're donating for Gigi's graphics card if you guys want to toss in for that. Okay, let's talk about these SSDs real quick. There are different types of SSDs now too, guys. There are some that they consider the pro version, some of them that are considered the standard version. Yes. And I would say some of this is going to be based around where your budget is. I've bought standard version ones. I have yet to have one fail. I've had people say that some bad things can happen with them, but because it's dedicated and I'm not doing a lot of writing and erasing on it and everything else, it's been faithful to me, and I've never had one fail on me.
Don't torrent on one.
Don't what?
Don't torrent.
Oh,
dollar to torrent.
Torrent. Yeah.
That's any drive.
Yeah, for that matter, right? Exactly. Yeah. Fastcard says the build is still current, but the parts are not. Please contact him by email if there are questions. You guys heard it directly from the man himself. If he's willing to help you guys out, if you're looking to do an upgrade or build on your rigs, like I said, his video is a very good video for that.
Here's a great FYI real quick. This is very important with these SSDs, guys. Make sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Griff. Your mic is off.
I was drinking. No, go.
Oh, make sure that you have disable caching on these SSDs. You're gonna kill that drive.
And defrag, disable that if that's turned on for some reason.
Yeah. But caching will naturally look through Windows, look it up, YouTube it or whatever. But how to disable caching on that SSD?
Good suggestion.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, good suggestion.
Bad.
Good suggestion. Okay. All right, let's jump on to the next one. Now, if you're really ready to move into the future, guys, we're going to talk about these Nvme M.2 drives, right? You guys have heard us talk about them before. This is the first time I've used them on this new rig. There's fastcart. He's got his in his hand. Kimmy's got them. These drives are the state of the art right now. One of the great things I love about them is that even though I loved SSDs, they reduced the amount of space it took up in my case before. These take up even less space. They're the size of what used to be a chip, a RAM chip. They go into the computer
Stick
very quickly. Yes, like a little stick, very easy, very quick. The prices on these are also becoming more and more reasonable as well. They're not ridiculously priced.
Yeah, this was $70.
Yeah, yep. And
$100 more for the Pro, basically.
fastcart. How many gig is that when you got there?
500.
Okay, so 500 gig for 500. I'm sorry, $70 for 500 gig, or as I mentioned earlier, you can get the Samsung SSD for $50 for 500 gig. So $20 difference. So if your computer rig is capable of taking in that NVMe, yes, go ahead and step up into it. The price is worth it. And we can definitely swear by them. Kimmy can swear by it. I can swear by it. Believe me, the performance difference is amazing when you get into those.
Here's a good FYI, Griff. Also, with the newer boards, ladies and gentlemen, when you introduce these new boards with the non-volatile memory express NVMEs, now motherboards are making 2 slots for them. So atypically, you can add one and then bring in another one as well. You can run it in RAID, just like a regular drive. So that's a good FYI out there for you.
And Kimmy, I'm glad you said that.
But that screwdriver is really, if you lose that screwdriver, you're kind of literally are screwed.
Oh, God, don't not ever lose the screwdriver.
Lighting. Keep a lot of light.
And the other thing too, Kimmy, I'm glad you said that because I didn't realize my board took 2 of those until I got it. I kept thinking, I said it back. I found out right after I ordered it because I thought it was just one. So it is nice to have a slot for 2. I think mine holds, I got 2 of them in there, and I love it, the fact that they have that in there for the board. So yeah, it's all good stuff. So that's the other thing that you guys want to look into. If you don't have them, definitely step into that. Let's see. In Dark Knight says, if you're looking for a new MV, folks, make sure that it is M.2 slots for your motherboard. Absolutely. He says he has 2 on his boards. Vickers says a lot of NVMe slots are in the way of bigger graphics cards. That's true on the mobile. Absolutely. For sometimes, guys, when you're trying to put the cards in, if you have a really large graphics card, you might start to find out that it's a little tight fit. So you really want to look up and read recommendations, read reviews on the boards, because people will tell you if you've got this size card or whatever, if it's a double slotted card, you may not be able to squeeze something into that motherboard. Very, very good point.
That was my concern, Griff.
And I didn't get one, but some NVMe cards have the cooler on top of it, so that can be a constraint on your space also.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That was my concern, and that card, the 3090, is a Hulk of a card. The Founders Edition. It's huge.
Yep.
I mean, and heavy.
Yes, and that is the big difference. I was amazed, Kimmy, when I got mine, the 2080. That thing was a beast. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was so heavy. I was worried about the size of it, the stress that it had.
Yes.
So you're right. Think about that, guys. When you get these bigger cards, be aware that they definitely bring a lot of weight to your system. They really, really do. Okay, let's jump over to the next one. Now, this one we will all recommend that you guys do. This is probably the cheapest upgrade that you can do to your computer. If you've got 16, get 32. If you got 32, think about going to 64. You don't have to. Remember, we mentioned about the specs for Star Citizen, but I told you, Gigi said the same thing. When I was at 16 gig with Star Citizen, I could play it, but it was like, but I noticed a significant difference when I went to 32 gig of RAM for that game. And when I built my new rig, I started it out. fastcart's already got his. Colossal, whoa! Colossal dropped $20 for Gigi.
Whoa!
Way to go!
Colossal.
Thank you, Colossal.
My friend.
Colossal. That's awesome. Thank you, Colossal.
You know what? This is the Star Citizen community, Gigi.
Yep.
It's a difference.
Yep, they're hooking you up.
Great difference.
You all are hooking Gigi up tonight for that graphics card. Thank you. So yeah, absolutely. If you can do that upgrade for RAM, we definitely would encourage you guys to do it. Nuberfire says 32 gigabyte cuts the load time. Wow, by 1/4.
1/4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good stuff.
When I tell you, when I put the RAM, just installed the RAM in my rig, I went from about a 10-15 minute load time to about 2 to 3 minute load time.
Vickers Medium makes a good
that's
point.
huge.
Yeah, if you can go with higher megahertz, go for it. If you can get higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the price, and by the way, let's talk about RAM a little bit. If you guys have got the older computer, one of the things I didn't tell you guys is when I did my build, I had planned on just doing some upgrades to it. And then I realized, and Kimmy's going to shake his head when I say this, I realized I had DDR3. And that was the killer. Because DDR3, I couldn't use, I had to go to DDR4. And what happens when you got to go to DDR4? You got to get a new motherboard. Right. So now everything has to change.
Period.
You know what I mean? So if you're in the DDR3 world, guys, brace yourselves. New motherboard.
That's DDR3 right there.
You gotta move on, right? You know, and many of us have it. You know, it was affordable, it was easy to get, but going into that next level, you got to go to DDR4, which means you got to get a new motherboard, which means you say, okay, here we go. Might as well just go ahead and do the whole thing.
Longer, the little notch is shifted over.
Exactly.
A little more to the right.
Exactly.
You're looking at the stick.
Now, Kimmy said you're using 4,000 on yours. I think I went 3,200. I think you said you went 4,000, right, on your RAM?
4,400
rather.
On my RAM.
Yep. So be aware that the price shifts based on that. So again, this is all about your budget, which you can afford, but always we want to suggest to you, think about what are you going to do to get lifespan out of your computer. Some people like fastcart, God bless his heart, has been running his computer now officially for a decade. I'm
shaking my head.
There is no way I could see. I've been through three. This is my third computer.
It's on his third one in like a decade.
I gotta give you credit there, Fast. I gotta give you credit, man.
Now, mind you, my work is more demanding, admittedly. And I'm not saying that a computer can't last you that long, but what I am saying is that for what he wants to do in Star Citizen now, he's ready, and it's his time to go ahead and make that shift.
And more to that point, that this is my first time getting an 80 series. I got the 2080, not the 3080, but I got the 2080 series. Normally I get the 70, but I figure if I'm going to keep this thing for 5 years, I'm able to maybe go for broke right now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Griff, you said DDR3, and now stuck in my head, all I can hear is the guy from the video game, DDR Max 2. It's just stuck.
It's stuck in your head now. Sorry about that. All right, Nubifire's got some more good info in here. He says, make sure that you enable EEC. Yes, in the BIOS. If you decide to spend, if you decide to spend extra for the 3600 megahertz. Yes,
that
absolutely.
tells you if your memory is something wrong with it. It does error checks on your memory to make sure they are running perfectly. ECC, error correct coding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Don't forget, if you guys want to give toward Gigi, helping her get her graphics card, donate anything you bring in. We will love you for it, and she will love you for it. She may even smile if you donate for her. So, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we love you guys anyway.
I love you anyway.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, let's talk about the beast, the elephant in the room. And this is the one that everybody has to wrestle with, and it is graphics cards. This one's a tough one. As most of you guys know, graphics cards pricing was always something that was like the hurdle, right? It was usually the processor and then the graphics card. That was usually the order. And then something called Bitcoin came along. And
oh no.
Yeah. And as you guys know, the price of graphics cards skyrocketed. And the difficulty with that was that we knew what graphics cards were worth, but because of the demand that came in with people who were doing Bitcoin, the prices went into these crazy realms. And for quite a while, people stopped buying graphics cards because they were just ridiculously high. They started coming down, but I don't know if they ever came back to where they were before. I remember when I bought my 1070. I bought my 1070 in 2016. I want to say I paid $325 roughly for it, for a 1070. It was $325 in 2016.
No, they have not come back down.
After that, a year later, it went from $325 to $750. At one point, it got as high as $800 and something for that card, and that was for a 1070. Some of you guys probably saw the same thing happen. We're gonna say fast card.
My 970 was $380 when I got it.
When you bought it,
that was like 2016.
In 2016, yep. So, you know, the prices just went crazy for a period of time. They've started to work their way back down. And then, of course, as you guys know, with these new 30,000 series cards that have come out, the prices have become a little bit more reasonable, but they're still expensive. Cards like the Kimmy's card. Kimmy, how much is the 3090 running now? Do you know?
Well, that's a great question. If you manufacturer, it's like 15.
That's the manufacturer. That's the manufacturer price, right? But people are paying more than that to get their hands on one because of demand. Yeah, which is insane.
And that's unfortunate because of the low volumes. And now that there's another element that's coming into play. People are using it for bit mining now.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what that was it. Yeah, when Bitcoin came in, that's what pushed the pricing up because people are mining with them. So this is what we want to encourage you on. You know, and fastcart, why don't you talk a little bit about what's on the RSI website that helps people determine, you know, about their games and stuff.
Yeah, on the RSI website, they have the telemetry data, and it's called Rocket-Based Industries Fast Telemetry. I'll put it in Twitch chat right now. And that allows you to compare your current build with other people's current build, and you can also study and move your mouse and click on stuff to see what FPS are getting, for certain builds. Like you have like a 2080 with a Intel CPU. You can see what FPS average that people are getting with that build. So it's pretty handy to give an idea of what works and what may work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm going to try to bring that in very quickly for you guys to look at. Give me 1 second here.
And another good FYI, when you talk about the new hardware and such, Cloud Imperium Games is also there doing things like bringing the foundation of tech that will actually help our current system to play even better with the server meshing, the Vulkan technology they're going to use to incorporate with the current video card. So yeah, they're working on it, and they're going to meet us more than halfway for a better gaming experience. Mm-hmm.
And one of the good things about the telemetry thing is that you can see that red dot. That's like the minimum requirement. And you click on that, and you see how much you can try to put a PC together based on that specific build, and maybe save some money. Or you can go to like the green dot, which is the average or recommended, and try to build it based on that. So,
yeah, if you have not used the telemetry on the website, go check it out. One of the things that's also good is if you're thinking about building a computer, each one of those boxes will represent a type of processor and what speed it's operating at. And it'll also tell you what the frames per second, the FPS is, depending on those combinations. So it may tell you if you're using a 1080 and you're using this processor, this is what the frame rate will be for Star Citizen, essentially what it's supposed to be. It's a guide. It should help you. Not only does it tell you where your computer currently is, but if you are looking to build, if you are looking to upgrade, if you utilize this tool, you'll be able to say, hey, my budget says I can get me a 2080 or I can get me a 3080 and I can get this processor and I'll probably get 50 frames or 40 frames or 35 frames when I'm playing the game. And you guys know those frames vary depending on where you are in the game, but it just gives you some type of guide. If you want to decide that you want to, build your rig, you can use that as a tool. Okay.
But the caveat is that this changes depending on different paths. So what the frame per second is for this pack may change next pack and
exactly.
And so on.
Yep. As always, things in Star Citizen change. Okay.
Also, speaking on graphics card, I want to bring up something that someone said in chat, which is that the 3K series are also now subject to a new tariff starting this month. So they're extra 15%.
Oh, from China. Donald Trump initiated that.
What you're doing and what you're buying and how, because the expense is skyrocketing.
Yes, absolutely. And Dark Knight, that's the advice we gave earlier before you got here. You're right. Don't buy hardware just for SC.
That's right.
We talked about this being about your gaming experience, but what we did say, the caveat is that we know that Star Citizen will probably be one of the games, because when you talked about Cyberpunk, there are certain games that will draw on your system more than others, and we know Star Citizen is one of them. So we just want you to be able to take into consideration the things that you can do to get a good gaming experience, as well as as best you can, future-proof your system so that you can get some longevity out of it. So we just want you to be very mindful of that. And once again, I'll put a plug out for Nubifier. He says if you got any questions, y'all contact him, and he says he's more than willing to help. Go ahead, Kimmy, what were you going to say?
Real quick, I'm going to add into chat. Check this out. There's a thing where you click on the tilde key. You can look at your FPS. It's right there in the chat. You select the tilde key. It's just left of the one button on your keyboard, and type in R_display info space 3, and it will give you your frame rates as you're in game.
Yep, very good.
And there are also certain tools like MSI, I forgot the name of the thing, but the MSI, it's like an overclocker, but it told you the FPS on that also. Yep. And EVGA has a Precision X tool that can also display that.
Yep, NVIDIA, that's the one I use all the time, is NVIDIA's, and it always has it up in my upper right corner just so I can get an idea of what it is. So, yep, there's some great tools for you guys to use. Okay, last but not least, we're going to hit one of the last subjects. Now, this doesn't seem like a big subject or important subject, but I think you're going to realize how important it is. And this is one of the things that people sometimes don't think about. And that is going to be...
I bet I know what it is.
You already know what it is, right? It is the one and the only power supply. No. Yes. I'm going to tell you why that's important. Well, you know why it's important. I ain't going to tell you. Oh, well, we'll get to hardware next week. That's next week. Okay, we're just dealing with rigs today. So let's talk about power supplies. For most of us now, when you buy your computer, if you're buying something retail, it's usually going to be something kind of moderate. It might be about a 450, maybe a 650 if you're lucky. But for gaming, you want to be higher than, I would say, more than a 750, guys. A 750 is probably the lowest you want to go.
It used to be 750, but based upon the hardware that's coming through the doorways now, you want to be at least 850 compliant.
Going up, okay. And I love what LDoc says, go big or go home. Now, this is one of those ones where you got to be careful, because some of you don't need a 1500 watt power supply. 1000 watt might be a lot for some people, but like Kimmy said, somewhere between 8 and 1000, and you can catch 1000 watt on sale and get it at a good price. But I would probably say your average price on a power supply is going to be anywhere from $110 to $150 as an investment.
And try to get a reputable brand, because I mean, you can get a cheap 1000 watt power supply, but if it only lasts you a year. You know,
absolutely.
That's not good.
And the other
you'll buy enough that you'll wish you had just bought the good one in the first place.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And mind you, and Colossal says a 750 is okay. And again, that's why I said Colossal 750 is about the bottom of where you want to be if you're buying new. But if you can get something a little bit more, because like Kimmy said, if you decide to go with the more powerful graphics cards that are coming out and things of that nature, you want to give yourself some latitude. You just want to give yourself some latitude. That's all it's buying you for a couple extra bucks. Now, the other thing I want to suggest to you is buy modular. Some of you have seen that now when you buy your power supply, it, instead of all the cables being connected to it in one long hard cable, you have now the power supply, and then there are plugins, there are outlets for individual cables. So now you can customize and only use the cables that are necessary in your rig. So you don't have all those extra cables laying around that you're trying to figure out what to do with them. And it's much neater in the sense of your cable management when all is said and done with that. So it's worth the investment. That's what we're going to tell you. When I bought my rig, I started out with, I knew what processor I wanted. I knew what motherboard I wanted. But my initial investment was, here's my case. Here's my power supply. I know they're going to work together. It's not necessary that you got to get a Corsair, power supply with a Corsair. A lot of people love EVGA. They're reputable. They've been around a long time, but there are a lot of them out there that are good. I shifted this year. I went to Thermaltake, right? All right. Somebody must have said something crazy because y'all laughing. Who said something crazy in chat?
I did.
Oh, you did? I should have known. Okay. I should have known. Okay. I should have known.
No.
I should have known. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, we're going to get ready to do our giveaway, guys. Two things before we talk about our giveaway. This is the last round. Anybody who wants to donate for GG, we got a good, I don't know how much money came in, but I know we got a good amount of money that came in. But of course, if you guys want to hook her up.
I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. If you did or if you did not donate, just the consideration and the love from the community. I love you guys very much.
Any of you guys who've ever had an integrated graphics card, if you've had an integrated graphics card, you know what she's going through. She needs to stand alone.
You know you love Star Citizen if you're attempting that.
Yep. Yes. Thank you for that hashtag.
There, man.
Yes. Thank you for that hashtag. Gigi needs a graphics card. Yes, she does. Yep. Mad Style, thank you again. Oh my God, another 500 bits.
Mad Styles, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely awesome. We very much appreciate you. Oni, listen, I don't need your sass today, okay?
Yeah, Oni, believe me, Oni, I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. Let me tell you how
fast it even runs on an integrated graphics card.
Her card was so bad. We were trying to leave Microtech, and we would get in the elevator together, and whenever we would leave out of the elevator, she would fall through the floor. And we couldn't figure out what was going on.
My personal favorite bug from Microtech, which was I would get off the elevator and then it would be something so weird. It was like an invisible fishing line just grabbed me and drug me across the floor. And then it would stick me into the corner where the elevators are. And my body would be half inside and half outside. I couldn't move. I couldn't stand. I could not do anything. And I would die from exposure because I was half outside.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell the game. God. No one put Gigi in a corner.
Yeah.
APT, thank you very, very much for the
on the drugs.
Yes.
Apt one, thank you so much. Gaming. Yeah, Admiral Kusanagi, we have not talked about the internet speed yet. Because we alluded to it a little bit when Gigi talked about when she was trying to play Star Citizen via Wi-Fi. But she has learned, and she is now hardwired in. But we will say that, guys. Hardwire in, guys. If unless you just have no other choice to Wi-Fi Star Citizen, you're going to probably be killing yourself to do that.
Yeah, that's a no-go. That's a no-go.
Painstaking. Can you just imagine, you guys, integrated graphics card, Wi-Fi, no SD, 16 RAM.
Yeah.
That's
how I was playing Star Citizen.
It was
when
brutal.
I first started.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
Slice and onions.
Yes, it was brutal. It was brutal.
I'm sorry, Gigi. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was brutal.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so listen, we're going to get ready to do our giveaway. And Kimmy, once again, would you let everybody know what it is? Kimmy's sponsoring this week, guys. I'm going to start setting it up for the giveaway, and I'll let you know what the keyword is in just a second.
These are Combat Pro pedals. Can you guys see it? Combat Pro pedals. And these are mostly metal. These are the Pro editions. It's USB. They're compliant with Windows. So
there you go. Put it like that.
Like this?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, awesome.
Hold it up just a little more, and then put it a little closer. There you go. Perfect. You had it. Just turn. There you go. Perfect. Just like that.
Yep. And they're not really heavy.
It's like he's adjusting an antenna for old school TV. It's like, move to the right, move a little more.
All right, listen.
In the hood,
keyword
fastcart, you would say rabbit ears.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, exactly.
Keyword is exclamation point pedals. Exclamation point pedals. So if you guys want to get in on this, exclamation point pedals, Kimmy's giving away these. He's giving away these very generous and very cool pedals for you guys.
Exclamation pedals in the chat if you would like to be entered into the raffle to win the pedals.
Colossal.
Wait a minute.
Colossal.
Colossal just. Oh my God.
No employees of Soul Citizens are allowed to enter contests. Thank you very much.
He's dead serious.
Oh God.
Griffin, I guess the last time Colossal was on Soul Citizen was his last time, because evidently he quit too. In order to enter the competition.
I said to myself, I'm sitting up here, and I went with my the other component of my hardware setup was basically the joysticks and such. And so I went with all VKBs, and I said to myself, it was just sitting in the closet, man. And I said, you know what? The conversation opened up about the immersion of Star Citizen and the fact that they're bringing all these peripherals to add to the game to make it more interactive, immersive, to feel like you're really a part of the ship and you're controlling that ship. I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, it doesn't make sense for me to have this sitting in the closet. And I'm looking at the community and they're looking at, some of you don't use it and you're curious. So I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity for this community and all that you guys do. You deserve it. So
all right.
I just wish I had more. But
can I say two things?
Sure.
The first part is a joke. Colossal, if you're going to try to sneak in an entry, don't be first in line because you're going to sneak it in the middle. He was number one.
Account, Colossal. You can't out here with your name. Like, yeah, I'm an enter, but like, bro, we know who you are.
We see you. You can see you in text and Twitch chat. The second thing is, even Superman is getting into the PC building because he put out a Instagram post a few months ago to show himself building a rig. I put that in Twitch chat, and he did a pretty good job at it. I was thinking maybe one of us and Soul Citizen could put together. He had big arms. He's built. So I think we need to put our sexiest person on a job. So Kimmy, you're up. You need to put out an Instagram, wearing a tank top, putting together a PC build. How about that? Do it with a team.
I'm not Henry Cavill. Staying in my lane, man.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
And that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. Henry Cavill recently upgraded his rig, and he switched out his card for the 3090 Founders Edition. How did he make that happen? Man, I don't know, but he made it. They made it happen.
He's
for
Superman.
him.
He's Superman.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
No, he can fly around the Earth in reverse time and get first in line to get to 3090.
And I mean, this was during after the release.
People who watch the old school Superman will know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Okay, give me one more.
Thank you for the link.
Yeah, can we get one more appeal? We're gonna try and get the last round here for GG.
Oh, Griffin, did you see what I posted to you in DM?
No, because I can't pull up DM. So you.
Okay, no mind.
Sorry. Okay, I'm trying to get my thing done here for GG here. Hang on. There we go. All right. All right, we're gonna close this out. Anybody else who wants to donate to our GG's graphics card, we're gonna do that, and let's get ready to do our giveaway. Don't forget exclamation point pedals.
GriffinGamingRPG with the donated $25.
Exclamation point pedals
That
game.
Griffin guy's not bad, man.
All right, here we go. Exclamation point pedals game. We're looping through somebody. Is it me? Probably.
Is it me?
Probably
It's
me.
not me, is it?
Probably me.
I don't hear it. It's probably you. Oh, you know what happened when you donate to Streamlabs? It comes through
Close that
Streamlabs.
donation tab, Griff. Yep.
Okay.
That's correct, right. That's what was going on with me. It left it open, and I was linked to the channel.
Okay, give me a second as I figure out which one it is. Okay.
Right?
Boy, that drive you crazy. Oh my God.
Just don't
Okay, there we go. Thanks. Yeah, we're gonna close the chat. Yeah,
close the main one.
Okay, guys, here we go. All right, so everybody's in at this point. We're gonna start. Let me see. Who do I need to kick off
this,
of here?
y'all. Let's do it.
All right, we got them all kicked off. All right, here we go.
Colossal going to win. Colossal going to win.
Can I do a 3, 2, 1 countdown?
Yes, you can do the 3, 2, 1 count.
Okay, on a 3, a 2, 1, go!
Colossal.
Win, guys, win!
Dark Knight. Oh, good.
Dark Knight. Wow. Dark Knight.
Yay! That's
Wow.
awesome.
There you go. Dark Knight 75.
So Dark Knight, send me a DM with your info, where to mail them. I'm gonna mail these out tomorrow morning for you, sir. And congrats.
He's shocked.
And community, congratulations for just signing up for it. Thank you all for your participation. That's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you guys and all you guys have done for us today, all through last year. I can't again overemphasize, you guys really just came through for us last year, and you guys have been supporting us all this time. So thank you from the bottom of every one of the Soul Citizens' hearts, because there's a bunch of us, right? Let's see. I was trying to see if I could find out what the donations are. I don't.
That's what I'll text it to you. You want me to do that for you?
Oh, you're able to text it to me?
I have it up.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. All right.
Text it.
We'll let you guys know exactly what you're texting this to my cell phone?
Yep.
Oh, cool. See, that's why fastcart's such a great guy. We can't get rid of fastcart. We have to keep him around a little longer.
That means
hard to say, but unfortunately that means fastcart, no raffles for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. No raffle for me. There you go.
I let you guys know we got. You sent it. There we go. Okay, that's all the numbers all together. Okay, they're not added up.
Oh, you want to add it up? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's okay.
My
bad.
That's okay.
No, yeah, I didn't do
I'll get it.
125,
145, 165, 185, 195. I'm sorry, 205, 215, 225, 235. $245. You guys are fabulous.
Wow.
Thank you. You guys.
That including bits and the subscription.
Yes. You guys.
That's not including bits and subscription.
You guys got her her graphics card, because I think she had like 150 or 200 from her stream. So 120. Okay. Yeah.
So wow, you guys. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I love this community.
It's great, man. It's
such great people.
It brings us to new heights of passion. And shouldn't the world be more like the community? I'm just saying, it's always in the back of my mind, but I'm gonna say it.
Except, why can't we just be like, why
can't the world be? Well, I'll take it any day over right now, man.
All right. Well, listen, we are going to wrap it up, and we're going to see who we're going to go. You know who we're going to send you guys to? We're going to send you over to the man himself, Uber Nerd, the Uber Nerd.
Awesome.
Just tell him we said hi.
Yes. Tell him we said Shuspa.
Yes.
You guys tell Uber we said hi and that we enjoy him as always. And from myself to you, I really, really appreciate you. I am so thankful and grateful to you guys. So I will see you guys on the next Soul Citizens, and thank you again.
And possibly in the verse soon too.
Absolutely.
Possibly soon in the verse you will see me. Yes. That is also an option now.
Absolutely.